Ladies and gentlemen, this is actually the second story that we've done in a small amount of time of another 13-year-old girl that met her demise in one of the worst ways possible. And I thought when I looked up the first story, I was like, are these the same story? And I looked it up and listened to the video and I was like, wait a minute. These are two different stories of two different 13-year-old teenage girls who were murdered. Absolutely insane. And it really bothers me because of the fact that I'm a father of a 13-year-old girl and I talk to my baby all the time about a lot of the dangers, not all of them, but I do talk to her about a lot of dangers that are out there in this world. So this story really hits close to home for me. But 4 people have been associated with this girl's death. Don't y'all think that's crazy? As society, and you guys have seen this with the Black Lives Matter movement and a lot of different other movements, they try to point the finger and say, well, this is what the real problem is. This is what the real problem is. The problem is police brutality. The problem is that white people see us as such and such and such and such. The real problem is racism. And the problem is, and then you look at stories like this and you're like, what did y'all say the problem was? I thought y'all said the problem was all these other things. Now I'm going to say some things that aren't going to sit well with your sensibilities, but until you can dispute the facts of what I'm putting out, I think it's best that you take what I say as the facts and dissect that and use it for what it's worth. Because what we can't do is we can't continue to go down a path of us doing the worst things to each other. I don't even believe when they say Black Lives Matter and the hashtag BLM, I took the hashtag BLM and turned it into Babies Lives Matter. That's what BLM stands to me. That's what it stands for to me. Babies Lives Matter. You're looking at 4 individuals who are being held accountable for the death of that 13-year-old beautiful little girl that y'all just saw on my screen. And I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, how did they arrest 4 people for the death of 1 person? Is anybody wondering that? Let's talk about it. 4 people, but the news won't say it. It's 4 black men. 4 black men have been arrested following a drive-by shooting. A drive-by shooting that killed a 13-year-old girl in Monroe, North Carolina, Saturday evening. Let me get them up on the screen. I don't know if I could put all of their names up here because there's a lot of these dudes. So, you have Javon DeMontre Robinson. Wow, DeMontre. That definitely sounds like somebody who's going to do life in prison. DeMontre. Javon DeMontre Robinson, 20 years old. Darius Rowland, 19 years old with that. Know what kind of mugshot that is. Jamarius Crowder, 22 years old. And Jamarius McClain. How do you have 2 Jamarius? That's a stupid name anyway. Jamarius McClain, 18 years old, on the far right-hand side. You can't be that level of dumb. They were all arrested and charged with first-degree murder. What does that mean? What does first-degree murder mean? Does anybody know? Usually means one of 2 things. Life in prison, potentially the death penalty. Here's why I bring that up. When I talk about we're our own worst enemy. If we know that the system is set up against us to charge us and judge us more harshly than anybody else, as far as black folk, we can talk. I got the same skin color as a lot of black folks out there, right? If we know that the system is set up to judge us in a harsh way, then why do we do things in order to be judged? Everybody understand where I'm coming from? If we know that the system is going to judge us harshly, then why do we put ourselves in the stereotypical positions to be judged? Why? There is none of these actions that any of them should be doing to even get themselves in this position in the first place. But I think a lot of it comes because these boys, these young men, were boys that didn't find any value in themselves because they didn't have a father in the home, so they didn't have an example of what they should grow up and become. Therefore, if they do not value themselves, they're going to grow up and they're not going to value anybody else. Which means they're going to wreak havoc on the community, your neighborhood, and your loved ones. In a lot of cases, it usually happens to people that share their skin color. All right? Now, the news was on the scene as Robinson was actually taken into custody. If y'all want to see that short little video, I will show it to you. Now, the news asked Robinson if he had anything to say to the mother of 13-year-old Loyalti Allah. This baby's name. Let me see if I can get her up on the screen. First of all, she is a beautiful, vibrant, beautiful smile. And I'm not going to lie, Loyalti is a little bit of a hood name because it's Loyalti. But even though it's a hood name, I actually like that baby's name. Allah. A-L-L-A. I don't know why that's her last name, but it is. Loyalti. Beautiful smile, beautiful baby. He asked the mother, at the news, asked the mother if he had anything to say. Robinson said, "I'm sorry for her loss. I didn't mean for it to go down that way." He said, "I'm sorry for her loss. I didn't mean for my drive-by shooting that I was looking to kill other black men to go down as my bullets missing and hitting this girl." Well, when you don't go to the shooting range, when you don't have aim, when you hold your gun, your weapon sideways, when you emptying the clip, like they like to say, when you're emptying your sticks, trying to get rid of the ops, where do you think all of these missed ass bullets are going? Where are all these missed bullets going? They're going to hit something. You didn't mean for it to go down that way, but you emptied your weapon, and I guess you just, what, you just thought it was going to disappear into thin air like you do in the video games? I mean, shh. This is not Contra. Just because your bullets make it to the end of the horizon of the screen don't mean that your bullets disappeared. Dumbass kids, man. When you live by the thug, you die by the thug. Stupid is as stupid thugs. These dudes don't need jail time. They need hell time. They need time in hell for what they did. Let's talk a little more about this. Police say that that baby right there was killed Saturday evening at that picnic table while she was sitting outside there with friends of an apartment complex in Monroe. The child's family told the news that 13-year-old Loyalti Allah was waiting for DoorDash delivery when she was killed in a drive-by shooting. That is absolutely ridiculous. Waiting on DoorDash. Got shot and killed. That should have been something that baby should have been able to do. The shooting happened around 8 p.m. on Ice Morley Drive, and police believe that a black Ford Freestyle SUV drove by and someone inside the vehicle began shooting in the direction of the children before speeding away. Police said that a 2005 Ford Freestyle believed to be involved in the shooting had also been recovered. Our officers did an amazing job in leaving no stone unturned to ensure that the individuals who committed this crime are not only identified, but also apprehended and brought to justice, according to Monroe Police Chief Brian Gilliard. This is such a devastating act that has far-reaching implications that was entirely uncalled for. These individuals took the life for absolutely no reason, and now a family and community has to live with this forever. Multiple shell casings were found at the scene, and there appear to be no other victims, according to the Monroe Police. Now, Allah was found with a gunshot wound before being taken to the hospital where the baby died. She had just turned 13 years old on Mother's Day. Our hearts and prayers go out to the family of the victim, and we need the community to identify and hold the shooter accountable for what they have done. Someone knows who did this. This was an innocent child, and we need to be brave and step up so we can catch those responsible for this senseless act of violence. This is an active investigation, and officers are talking with area residents and collecting any video evidence available. Anybody who has information can contact Monroe Police Department at 704-282-4700. So if you see something, if you know something, say something. Let's give you the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Stories. Here we go. Let's get it.
Breaking tonight on Fox 46, the 4 men wanted in the murder of a 13-year-old girl in Monroe are now behind bars. Good evening, I'm Morgan Francis. Authorities charge all 4 with first-degree murder in the death of Loyalti Allah. She was shot and killed last night while sitting at a picnic table with friends. Fox 46's Jamal Goss is live in Monroe tonight where a vigil took place for Loyalti. Jamal, what are people saying about her and the senseless act?
Well, Morgan, the community is heartbroken by Loyalti Allah's death, and that's why her family and neighbors came together to remember her.
All her dreams are gone. All her family dreams are gone that they had for her.
Balloons, teddy bears, and flowers sit at the site where police say 13-year-old Loyalti Allah was shot during a drive-by Saturday night. She later died at the hospital.
This is not Ice Molee when I was here.
Cherie May is a local activist and is now mourning the little girl's loss.
You took a child, an innocent, very bright young lady. You took that from not only the community, you took it from her family.
Police have charged 4 people with murder ranging from age 17 to 22 years old.
It's frustrating, you know, because I don't want to talk to any more mothers and tell them that their children are lost.
Authorities believe retaliation between 2 groups led to multiple rounds being fired and say the community has to work together to end the violence. Several police officers attended a vigil for Loyalti, bringing water and flowers.
I challenge every minister, every youth organization in the city of Monroe, if you want to make Monroe come together and make it the place we need to be, now's the time.
She had a beautiful smile. She was very sweet.
Dee Wells was Loyalti's dance instructor and remembers her big smile and heart to help others. You can see Loyalti dancing near the left corner of your screen during a session earlier this month. It was one of the last times the group says they got to see her.
She hasn't even got to go to high school, anything, and then it's hard to explain to the kids how to grieve, because I never went through nothing like that. So them calling me last night, hearing the news from them on a group chat, and they like, so that means we're never gonna see her again, and now understanding it was very shocking. It's very heartbreaking.
And right now, the family is collecting money to help with funeral expenses. A candlelight vigil and balloon release is planned for next Saturday in the community where the makeshift memorial has been set up. Reporting live tonight in Monroe, I'm Jamal Goss, Fox 46.
All her dreams are gone. All her family dreams are gone that they had for her.
Balloons, teddy bears, and flowers sit at the site where police say 13-year-old Loyalti Allah was shot during a drive-by Saturday night. She later died at the hospital.
This is not Lee when I was here.
Cherie May is a local activist and is now mourning the little girl's loss.
You took a child, a innocent, very bright young lady. You took that from not only the community, you took it from her family.
Police have charged 4 people with murder ranging from age 17 to 22 years old.
It's frustrating, you know, because I don't want to talk to any more mothers and tell them that their children are lost.
Authorities believe retaliation between 2 groups led to multiple rounds being fired and say the community has to work together to end the violence. Several police officers attended a vigil for Loyalty, bringing water and flowers.
I challenge every minister, every youth organization in the city of Monroe, if you want to make Monroe come together and make it the place we need to be, now's the time.
She had a beautiful smile. She was very sweet.
Dee Wells was Loyalty's dance instructor and remembers her big smile and heart to help others. You can see Loyalty dancing near the left corner of your screen during a session earlier this month. It was one of the last times the group says they got to see her.
She hasn't even got to go to high school, anything, and then it's hard to explain to the kids.
Now to more breaking news, this time out of Monroe in Union County, where we're learning that all 4 suspects are now in police custody in connection to the death of a 13-year-old girl. They are all being held at the Union County Jail tonight without bond. These are photos provided to us from the Monroe police. All 4 men charged with first-degree murder in the death of Loyalti Allah. The child was shot and killed on Ice Morley Drive at around 8 o'clock last night. Police believe the teenager was just sitting with her friends on Saturday night when a black Ford SUV drove by and started shooting, then sped off. A vigil for the little girl was held tonight at the nearby apartments. Dozens in the community showed up to support the family as they're working to cope through this tragic loss.
Is there anything to say to that mother? Sorry for her loss. Didn't mean for things to go down that way.
He said, sorry for your loss. Didn't mean for it to go down like that. Y'all hear what the black Pillsbury Doughboy had to say? Let's listen at this again. How are you? You shouldn't be, what, 20 years old? How old is this fool? How old is he? 20 years old, 19 years old, 22, and 18. You're supposed to be at the height of your metabolism. Man. And he got boobs. Jeez. I'm a big guy now, but I'm almost 40. I am a father. My daughter is a teenager. I didn't have my years of being in shape with 6 packs. That boy is 1 cheeseburger away from going blind. My goodness. Sorry for your loss. I didn't mean for it to go down like that.
Is there anything to say to that mother? Sorry for her loss. Didn't mean for things to go down that way. Why did that have to happen? She's 12, 13 years old. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Somebody in the chat said that boy was looking to steal that girl's DoorDash. You know what's funny? He probably was. He probably was saying, I didn't mean for it to go down like that. I was actually planning on robbing the DoorDash driver. That boy was a couple tacos short of a combination plate. But let's move on.
Lindsay, the community continues to mourn the loss of Loyalti Allah, a little girl, they tell me, who was an angel and inspiration to the community. Her life now over due to gun violence, and local leaders are calling for change.
Right.
That fat boy didn't have a gun in his hand. He had a snack in his hand. I can guarantee you that. He was not the shooter.
Now, a makeshift memorial continues to grow for 13-year-old Loyalti Allah.
We just wanted to bring the balloons out to show our support.
Elizabeth Thomas knew her and has been a neighbor for more than 6 years. And this afternoon, she dropped off balloons to remember her by.
At the end of the day, we are all parents to all of these kids. And the fact that we lost one of the good energies, you know, People have lost hope.
Though hope may have been lost following Loyalti's death, her presence is still felt in the community.
It's more than what you see, it's what you feel. And I know she's better off than we are. God just had different plans for her.
Right now, 4 people accused of killing her are behind bars charged with murder. As her accused killers sit in jail, Loyalti's mother placed this shirt at the picnic table where she was sitting before she was shot and killed.
No one wins. Even with the arrest, there's still no winners in this situation. I believe that this is allowing us to see the significance that we need one another.
John Kirkpatrick is a pastor and a member of the Union County School Board and works as a mentor on the east side of the city, helping create a cultural change. He says it's an area with high poverty, low income, and a lack of resources. And as the community continues to mourn the loss of a girl they called an angel, Kirkpatrick is calling for change.
Someone has the opportunity to be a light. How you become a light in a situation like this, it requires humility, it requires listening, and it requires a vision.
I'm going to watch that again. Maybe I missed this brother's message. I'm sorry. I could be a little bit slow, but I need to hear what his message was again, because we rarely get to see men on camera. Let me hear what he had to say again. I mean, no disrespect.
With high poverty, low income, and a lack of resources. And as the community continues to mourn the loss of a girl they called an angel, Kirkpatrick is calling for change.
Someone has the opportunity to be a light. How you become a light in a situation like this, it requires humility, it requires listening, and it requires a vision.
Let me hear it again.
Be a light.
Here's how you be a light in a situation like this.
How you become a light in a situation like this, it requires humility.
Humility? I know what humility is.
It requires listening.
You got to be able to listen.
And it requires a vision.
And you have to have vision to be a light in this situation. I know y'all are going to get so mad at me. I'm so sorry. I didn't understand what I could just be. If I was a box of crayons, I might be one of the darker colors in the box because I'm not the brightest. But I didn't understand what that brother was saying at all. I did not understand it. I'm sorry, I didn't. But again, to those who are wondering how we get to this point, it starts at home. Everybody can type it in the chat. All of these problems start at home. You cannot wait until your child is 13 years old, out sitting at the picnic table, waiting on DoorDash to pull up. Your kid get hit with a stray bullet because y'all live in the goddamn hood, and then ask, what's the problem? Why did this happen? We need more light in the world. What? Am I just being a butthole? I don't think I am. Let me explain exactly what I mean when I say that this problem starts at home. And we're going to talk about that goddamn GoFundMe too, because it's ridiculous. 13 years old, no life insurance. That's the mom. We're going to talk about the mom sitting there looking like a squished up. Okay, I'm sorry. Never mind. Let me not say that. Let me not say that. Looking like a squished loaf of bread. I'm sorry. I had to say it. Anyway, let's talk about this. When we talk, move past the joke. I know it was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I apologize. God dang. Let's move past that, okay? Real talk. These problems start because we have too many fathers who are having sex with too many women and putting babies in them that if you didn't put babies in them, Because the man provides the seed. If the seed doesn't reach the soil, then the soil don't germinate into anything. It's a two-part problem. You can blame the woman and say the woman shouldn't have had the kid, but then you can blame the man and say the man should have provided the seed for the woman to have that baby in the first goddamn place. Huh? If we know that we're broke, if we know that we're disenfranchised, if we know that we live in the hood, if we know where we live is dangerous, then why are we continuing to bring children into these situations? Why not wait until you get yourself in a better position? If anybody can wait, it's the men. I know women have a biological clock. That I understand why they might be a little more desperate for a baby or maybe for some benefits that they can collect from those kids, because the government provides incentives that single mothers with no man in the household can take advantage of, which is also destroying us, which is still a choice. Huh? All of that is choice. The problem is choice. We are making bad choices. The men could stop all of this. Stop providing your seed. I don't care if you're a thug. I don't care if you're a gangster. I don't care if you're corporate America. I don't care if you're working at McDonald's. I don't care if you're working in middle management. Stop providing your seed. Maybe we should think about not having sex at this point, especially since condoms break, especially since STDs are so rampant and some of y'all genitalia is itching and dripping. Huh? Especially when a large number of y'all got these things called herpes. Huh? We could avoid a large amount of these problems simply by saying, you know what? We could just vet people better. How about we do a freaking background check, men and women? Come on, somebody tell me where I'm lying at, please. If I'm saying something that is factually inaccurate, please let me know. Why are we not doing background checks? These women, before they become mothers, should know at least some semblance of who this man is by what he does for a living, where he works, some of his history, and you should know whether he has a criminal record before you have sex with him. How about before you have sex with him, how about you be in a relationship with him? How about we go back to the old days when there were some women out there, a good amount of women out there, that would at least wait until you got married. What happened to that beautiful concept? Wait until you put a ring on it? If you're going to have sex, fine, but why bring kids? Especially when we got so many contraceptives, so many day after pills, and some of the stuff is actually also funded by Planned Parenthood, or you could go down to the clinic while you're getting checked for STDs. Guess what else they also give you? Condoms, birth control. Yes, am I lying? How do I know? Don't worry about it. Just saying. Before we even get to this point. Because when you start having children outside of wedlock, start having children by thugs, you're having children by men who have not proven themselves to be worthy of your womb. Ooh, ooh. Shout out to Young M.A. You are having sex with men who are not proving themselves to be worthy of your womb, of procreating in your soil. You accepting the seed of a man who ain't crap. Who is he? Most of these women, not all, but most of these women have a whole lot of negative things to say about their baby daddy. Am I lying? They got Facebook groups, Twitter, Instagram clowning me. Oh, my baby daddy is the worst man on planet Earth. He is a horrible person. He don't take care of his kids. He ain't here for his kids. He don't want to pay child support. He don't want to come see his kids. Blah, blah, blah. All day. What's the problem with that scenario? Because a lot of those same women that complain will turn around and do the exact same thing with another man. Will they not? The statistics say that most women who have their first child will have their second child within 24 months, 2 years. You can't be that level of dumb when you are the bringer of life. You have to be just a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser. A man can't do what a woman would not allow that man to do. Therefore, the choice is ultimately yours. If you say it's a lot of dumb men out there, then why go along with the narrative that these men are giving these women? Running game. Why is he ain't got no game? Why is that a thing? Why should a man have to have game? Why is that a good thing? Why is that cute? Why is somebody lying and deceiving you to your face? Or somebody who is widely, what do they call it? Widely desired? This is the flagship man. This thug, this dude, buffed up with tattoos and criminal record and pants hanging off his ass, ain't got a job, living a fast life, making all of this fast money. This is the man that's got 20 or 30 kids. It's a choice. I don't mind the choices that you make, but when you make your bed, then maybe you need to lay in the goddamn thing. Am I wrong? If you make your bed, then I'm expecting for you to lay in your bed. If you know the area that you live in is violent, especially when you're talking about some of these areas like North Carolina and Philadelphia being some violent ass areas. This is not brand new news. This starts, and this girl was murdered by boys who were had by mothers who had babies for the benefits that they can collect from those kids, and the man did not choose to stay in those boys' lives, and those boys grew up to be teenagers. Those teenagers grew up to become grown men who are probably going to be in jail for life. Now I want y'all to look at this story. 4 men are being held accountable for murdering that one girl. I want y'all to answer this question for the black community before I wrap up. If 4 black men are being held accountable for the death of one black girl, then how many black lives did we just lose? Black Lives Matter. Would anybody care to place that number in the chat and let me know if you have 4 black men who are being held accountable on a capital murder charge for one black girl? How many black lives have we lost? We want to cry and complain about Dante Wright. We want to cry and complain about Ahmaud Arbery, about Alton Sterling, about Walter L. Scott, about Rashard Brooks, about Breonna Taylor, about George Floyd, about Stephon Clark. But we won't cry about Malia Bass. We won't cry about Malia Davis. We won't cry about Camille Cupcake McKinney. We won't cry about Orrin and Orson West. We won't cry about Elysiana Carter. We won't cry about Loyalti Allah. In one situation, you have just lost 5 black lives, and you do not see one protest. You don't see that level of outrage. You don't see 5 mothers out there on the front lines, out there advocating for change. Why do you not? Do you not love your sons, even though they committed such a heinous act? Are you not going to come out and say what they did was wrong and we need to stop this together? Why do you never see the families not band together against this to try to stop this? Do you know why? Because their main focus is they want to collect benefits from each and every life that they allegedly give birth to, and it's their kids, and the kids only belong to them when it benefits them. Let me show you something. Did y'all know that they put up a GoFundMe for this girl? Can y'all see how much that GoFundMe is worth? We talk about babies for benefits, and I know some people don't like me constantly saying that and constantly talking about these GoFundMes, because look at it like this. We won't invest money in the life of these children. We won't invest money to make sure that they can have better neighborhoods, better clothes, better education. But we're going to make sure to have a bomb-ass funeral, though. We're going to make sure they have a bomb-ass funeral. All right, but again, you guys are looking at this $30,000 GoFundMe, and this baby is dead. This baby does not need a $30,000 funeral. Because if we weren't willing to give her that kind of money when she was living, why put that kind of money into the ground? And that's part of what I'm talking about as far as making the black community better, is that we have to start making better choices, better decisions. We have to move smarter with our money, start investing our money in our community and our things that we own. You know, but putting $30,000 into a funeral is absolutely ridiculous. So therefore, we know, since there are no $30,000 funerals, or shouldn't be, then we know most of that money is actually probably going to go into the hands of the person that set up that GoFundMe for whoever they're going to give it to. They're pocketing money. That's what I call babies for benefits. And again, I think that they're probably going to give life sentences to all of those men that are involved. We've just lost 5 lives, and you have to ask yourself, what did we lose these 5 lives over? These 5 black lives. That baby was beautiful. She could not defend herself. She had a voice. She could speak for herself. But when they say she was at the wrong place at the wrong time, I truly actually agree with that statement. She just happened to be in a bad neighborhood that was infested with thugs and gangs and violence. And they just didn't have they just had what do you call it? They just didn't care about life. And we need less of those people in our society. So the baby Loyalti, let me see if I can get my favorite picture of her. This one right here, because I remember when my daughter was her age, right there. Beautiful little princess. So to Loyalti Allah, young princess, R.I.P. I know the family might not understand where I'm coming from, but I hope they listen with an open mind and an open heart. DJ Just Jay, thank y'all for listening to this particular story.